Good evening, everyone. Today is 5th of May, and here are some of the major headlines from the US markets. Another crypto craze is taking the market by the storm as a parabolic rally for altcoins, that its cryptos other than Bitcoin took over the value of all digital tokens past $2.3 trillion. Dogecoin, a crypto that started as a joke, is now changing hands at 68 cents, up about 63% in the past 24 hours, 131% over the past week, and 11,000% so far in 2021. Dash also spiked 35% over the last 24 hours, and Ethereum Classic rose almost 50%, helping crash crypto trading on Robinhood's popular trading app. Some are pointing to Elon Musk's upcoming SNL appearance as the Doge father, as well as the future of DeFi and other crypto trends. But one of the more immediate catalysts appeared to be a change in the trading sentiments. Once upon a time, investors had talked about the time value of money and the advantages of compounding. But who's looking for a 10% returns a year when one could make 50% or more per day? That kind of attitude, while risky, have been increasingly adopted by a new generation of traders, while institutions can take advantage of the price moves by easily entering and exiting positions. The fact that holding is even a term in the crypto sphere, where investors buy and hold their positions regardless of price, has put a certain support under the industry that possibly cannot be riled in any other asset class. Enthusiasm is meanwhile building across social media, where the Winklevoss twins said that the Gemini crypto exchanges would now support Doge. Yes, it's a meme coin, but all money is a meme, Cameron wrote on Twitter. The possible outlook is, while some see this as a mere opportunity to get into action, bigger believers say that the current rally is a breakthrough moment that will provide cover against a future dollar devaluation. Others sees that the entire system as a kind of pyramid scheme, but even among the biggest backers of crypto, some see that the current altcoin rally is unsustainable. Famed investor Mike Novogratz said recently that he'd be very worried were one of his friends to invest in Doge, but thinks crypto returns will beat the crap out of stocks, but not forever. They will hit an equilibrium, but there's no free lunch in the world, he added. Right now, it feels like there's a free lunch because the government's losing everything. It may be that the interest rates will have to rise somewhat to make sure our economy doesn't overheat. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said on Tuesday, triggering a sell off in the tech sector, which depends on low rates for its growth and expansion. The Nasdaq closed 2% lower on the news before a correction was issued by the press office. Let me be clear, it's not something I'm predicting or recommending, Yellen later explained at a Wall Street Journal's event. Following the less than earth-shattering comments, many were quick to highlight the clarification, while others pointed out that the real decision-making lies with Jerome Powell. The Fed chairman had previously insisted that he is not even thinking about higher rates until the labor market recovers from last year's economic shutdown. Sentiments today has shifted in favor of that outlook, while Nasdaq futures are up by 0.6%, following by a 0.4% gain for the S&P 500 and 0.3% advance for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. What's wrong with an overheated economy? The bustling economic activity and an increase in consumer wealth generally lead to a high level of inflations, asset bubbles, and external economic shocks. The sharp rise in cost could also result in an inefficient allocation as suppliers overproduce and create excess production capacity. When things slow down, a recession can hit, and central banks may attempt to raise interest rates before then to lower the amount of spending and borrowing in the economy. WTI crude oil prices are more than 17% over the last quarter and have soared nearly 12% in the last month. Some commodities like copper and corn have even jumped to their highest levels in almost a decade as major economies rebound from the pandemic. The CME Group is permanently closing most of its open outright pits in Chicago, including trading of agricultural commodities like soybeans, wheat, cattle and hogs, and as well as the trading of options on the S&P 500. In fact, the only part of CME's trading floor that will remain open is its euro-dollar options pit. The interest rate contracts still represent one of the exchange's largest marketplaces. While many of the CME spits were already replaced by electronic trading, the remaining ones were temporarily closed in March 2020 to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Quote, I guess I'm not surprised, explained Dan Huber, an independent broker who spent 31 years on the trading floor. Sad to see it ends this way, but we will all turn the page and move on. It was a good run. If you still want to get a look at an open outcry showmanship, there are some venues still available. Those include the New York Stock Exchange's trading floor in Manhattan and several options floor in the Cope Global Markets, CME's rival in Chicago. Across the pond, the London Metal Exchange is considering permanently closing its red sofa trading ring, which is the last open outcry floor in Europe. SpaceX has so far received more than 5 lakh orders for its satellite internet service, which is designed to beam high-speed internet to consumers anywhere on the planet. The news came during the webcast of its 26th Starlink mission, which launched another 60 Starlink satellites into the orbit. Only limitation is high density of users in urban areas. Most likely, all of the initial 500K will receive services, Elon Musk wrote on Twitter. More of a challenge when we get into several million user range. Some backdrop. Starting in October, SpaceX began a public beta program for Starlink with a service priced at $99 a month. That's in addition to the $499 upfront cost to order the Starlink kit, which includes a user terminal and a Wi-Fi router to connect to the satellites. While the company formally began accepting $99 pre-order for Starlink in early February, SpaceX emphasized that the pre-orders are fully refundable since placing a deposit does not guarantee services. Race for global internet coverage includes Facebook's abandoned plan for Aquila in 2018, which aimed to deliver service via solar-powered drones, while Alphabet pulled the pin on Project Loon in January, a decade-old venture that planned to beam internet to Earth via giant balloons. While Amazon's Project Kuiper and Facebook's Athena are still mostly on paper, SpaceX has now launched more than 1,500 internet satellites of its planned Starlink fleet into low Earth orbit. Once we can predict cash flow reasonably well, Starlink will IPO, Elon Musk wrote in a tweet on February 9. He also suggested that the retail investors will get top priority in the coming offer. What else is happening? Philippine chatter is gaining steam in the crypto world. JP Morgan's Demon is fed up with Zoom calls and remote works. Full approval for Pfizer's vaccine would come by the end of the May. Jessica Alba's Honest Company prices IPO at $16 a share. Facebook Oversight Board to announce decision on Trump ban. Climate activists bombard BlackRock to move against Exxon. GE shareholders disapprove CEO Larry Culp's pay plan. Now some of the Tuesday's main key earnings. Activision Blizzard's up by 5.4% after hours on an easy beat and raise. Caesars Entertainment up by 7% after hours with sold out weekends in Vegas. CVS Health up by 4.4% as an improved outlook topped consensus. Dominion Energy down by 1.2%, posting mixed results. DuPont up by 1.6% with all business segments showing growth. Lyft up by 6.1% after hours, topping riders' estimates, narrowing losses. Pfizer up by 0.3%, boosting anticipated vaccine revenues. Prudential Financials up by 1.9% after hours, adding to a buyback plan. T-Mobile up by 2% after hours, raising guidance across the board. Under Armour down by 1.2% despite earnings topper guidance lift. Now some of the updates of world markets. In Asia, Japan closed, Hong Kong down by 0.4%, China closed, India down 0.9%. In Europe at midday, London up by 1.1%, Paris by 0.8% and Frankfurt by 1.4%. In the futures market, Dow up by 0.6%, S&P by 0.4%, and Nasdaq by 0.3%. Crude up by 1.1% to $66.44. Gold flat at $1,776.40. Bitcoin down by 1.8% to $55,421. 10-year Treasury yield up by 1 basis points to $1.60. Today's economic calendar includes the mortgage applications report by 7 a.m. At 8:15, the ADP jobs report. At 9:30, Fed's Evans's monetary policy. At 9:45, PMI services index. At 10 a.m., ISM non-manufacturing index. 10:30, EIA petroleum inventories. At 11 a.m., Fed's Rosengren speech. At 12 p.m., Fed's Masters Economic Outlook, and at 3 p.m., Fed's Evans's speech. That's all for today's updates. Thank you.